Repo, the generic opera, and Repo Man. Both of these movies have the same concept, which goes around a question that we've all, have answered, even if we weren't in that predicament. When someone needs a life saving surgery and it involves an organ, like a heart transplant, if they don't pay the bill, do they take the heart back? And that's what both these movies play. They play around that idea and go, yeah, if you don't, pay for whatever, transplant you had, we go and repossess it. Like a car. You don't make a payment on your car, it gets repossessed. So that's what that whole thing was. But even though these two movies have the same concept, they do have same concept, but they have different executions of it. So one is obviously a musical. Repo, the generic opera, hence opera, is a musical. And basically, in that story, a organ failure had become a worldwide epidemic. And Jinko was known as the savior, a corporate. And of course, if you need a transplant, you just sign on a dotted line saying you will pay whatever you have to pay to keep on living until it's paid off. And there you go. If they don't, they send the repo man after you and grabs the organ and returns it back to Jinko. Things of that nature. That movie stars Alexa Vega, who is well known for her role in Carmen Cortez in Spy Kids, that was directed by Robert Rodriguez. She also starred in a few other movies, Lifetime movies. She also, I don't know, I've seen them, but I don't remember. She did a Lifetime movie based on a true story of a girl who pretended to be pregnant as an experiment to see how people would react. And when people realized that she wasn't pregnant, they were like, oh, shoot, like we said, all that stuff. She did one, it was based off cyberbullying, which cyberbullying started to make itself known. I don't remember that movie, but it was also a Lifetime movie. She also did a movie called Rapture and was in Walkout. There was another movie she was in. It was starring George Lopez and her now husband, Carlos Pantana, who was a member of Big Time Rush. He was also in Grease Live alongside Julianne Hough and Aaron Tiv, I believe, who did Les Miserables. So there's that. And then also in that movie, it stars Anthony Head, who is well known for playing King Pendragon, King Arthur's Pendragon's father in Merlin. And he also is well known for playing Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the emissary and mentor of Sarah Michelle Gellar's character Buffy. So, both of them are in this movie. And like I said, this music, and there's also Paris Hilton and the gentleman who created, I think his name was Darren, generic opera. He played the Gravedigger. And this was a stage play, and it became a movie with the producers of Saw and things like that. There's a girl Shiloh, who's played by Alexa Vega. She wants to see outside, but due to a very, very severe genetic condition, she can't really do a lot, where she has to take her medicine, things like that. And there is gore, there is mystery, there is love, there is a whodunit, there's crime, things like that. And then you have Repo Man starring Jude Law and Forrest Whitaker. And this is more sci-fi elements. This is also has a company that does the same thing as Jinko did. Hey, if you need a transplant, cool, great. You sign on the dotted line, you pay what you can. If not, it gets repossessed. But Jude Law's character ends up having an accident during one of his assignments to repossess an organ. I think it was a heart. and it was one of his favorite singers. And what's actually really cool about that scene and very human about that scene is that the artist just simply asks, "Can I finish this? Before you take whatever you need to take, can I finish it?" He goes, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And he goes, "How do you like it? You think it needs a little bit?" He goes, "No, it's good." And he's like, "All right." So the guy, all right, lets him do what he does, and then something short circuits and causes him to have an accident. Jude Law's character to have an accident. And then now he has to have a transplant. Now he has to pay. And he soon realized that, like Jinko, there's corporate greed and things like that. And he's like, he went from being on the inside, knowing what he knew, to being on the outside and realizing, wow, this is wrong. So I guess you could say a change of, like, what was it? A turn of a new leaf kind of thing. And then he goes against the company with this girl that is, getting illegal transplant from the black market because they can't afford it, things like that. The end freaking messed me up for a while. I don't think I want to live like that, having a mind transplant and making you think you're alive and stuff like that. Like, yeah, no, that's what happened to Jude Law's character. Yeah, so both these movies have the same concept, yes. A lot of people would say, oh, well, they plagiarize it, things like that. No, Repo, the Genetic Opera, came out in 2008. In 2010, it was 2010. Yeah, 2010, the Repo Men came out. Let me double check. Because I know the Genetic Opera, Repo Men came out in 2010. Yeah, so Repo came first. Maybe Repo Men got inspiration from Repo. I don't know. Same concept, why not? I mean, there's a lot of movies that had the same concept. The question is, how are you going to execute it? One's a musical, one's sci-fi and action. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that's about it. Yeah, so Repo the Generic Opera versus Repo Men. I remember there was a girl in high school. I finally got to see the Generic Opera, and I told a girl about it. She goes, "Did you see the movie The Repo Man?" This was before I saw it. I was like, "No, but I've heard of it." She's like, "It's the same thing. They copied Repo, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, the concept, yeah, but, like, the execution, no. Like I said, one's a musical, the other one's more along the lines of sci-fi and action, things of that nature, It's a fun idea, but well, actually, no, it's not really a fun idea though. I wouldn't want that. Yeah, but then again, eventually the insurance companies find out, this was a life-saving, operation. I don't know, things of that nature. Yeah, so Repo and Repo Men, same concept, different movies, different executions, different genres. Take it as it is. The question is, what do you like more, or what do you think? Things like that. Yeah, let me know in the comments section what do you think about either movie. If you feel one is a copycat, or if you liked more than the other, or how you feel about this whole video in general, let me know in the comments. Bye.